Hello once again. Welcome back. I'm going to show you a restoration that I did last year. Late last year, matter of fact. This is an Atwater Kent model 38. And it is a little bit different than this 37. However, it's very, very close. The differences that I've realized, and I've never had a 37, but the 38 has an extra 26 tube and another RF choke, or RF stage, also another tuning capacitor, which is thus the extra stage, RF stage. And the bias resistors on those stages are 850 ohms versus 350 for the 37. It also has a switch. This is the local and a distance switch. Of course, you on off switch here, and the tuning dial, which is nothing fancy, but I just like simplicity myself. And then, of course, the gold-plated emblems, and then this also had the gold medallions, and then of course the center Atwater Kent there. Now I'm going to pull the lid off and I've already had some problems with this. As with any radio, I play the radio for hours and hours and hours. When I build one or restore one, I want to see if it's going to work and everything. So I always put a fuse in my stuff, and I put a 1 amp fuse in this, and it played for several weeks, and everything was right down the middle. Everything looked good, and then all of a sudden, bang! The fuse blew. Did the troubleshooting. The primary of the transformer was open. So it's a 90-year-old transformer, and inexperience on my part. I was running 120, 123 volts, just regular line. I wasn't running it through a variac or anything like that. And so these were rated and designed. This was right when they came from batteries onto the AC lines, and the AC lines in those days were 110 volts. On a good day, I guess, and I would think it varies, the regulation in those days. I don't know the history of it or anything like that, but I would think that the regulation, some days it may be less. So the primary, when I pulled it apart, checked it, the primary was open, and all the rest of the windings were fine. So I wrestled around with what to do, tried to get another transformer. I tried for a couple of months to get another transformer, and just not many people just had them laying around. So I decided to go ahead and have mine rewound and have the primary voltages bumped 10% up to accommodate the 120, 123 volts. It was going to cost a little bit more, but if you can't find a transformer, and then when you do find a transformer or another unit, you're going to have to pay the shipping plus that, and then you're dealing with another 90-year-old transformer. So I opted to spend a little extra money. Now, one of the chokes in my original power supply was bad, so I used a 750 ohm resistor, 10 watt, and more inexperience on my part, I'm sure. I believe I used too high of a capacitor for the filter. Now, it seemed to work great. There's no heating, no hum. Everything seemed to be working fine. So I'm trying to find some chokes to go back in this. Only one of them's bad. One of the power supply in the Pi network is good. And the speaker choke is good, and I'll show you in a second what that looks like. It's embedded in tar, and most people have never seen it. It's an ugly contraption, I promise you. But I recently, since I've got the transformer back, have found a power supply out of an Atwater Kent 44, which it's modular. So I'm hoping that I know the capacitor unit will come out. I'm hoping that the chokes will come out also. So if they do, then I'll be in pretty good shape and I'll put it back in my original power supply. Let me pull the cabinet off and show you what's inside and show you what a mess I've made since then. Okay, this is the inside of the Atwater Kent 38. As stated earlier, it has an extra RF stage, got an extra tuning cap, and an extra 26 tube. This is where the power supply went. My power supply, I've cleaned the filter chokes and the filter caps out of this one, and the speaker choke also. So this is clean. I had added a fuse. I'm going to have to find a place to relocate that because I think with this repair, I'm going to have to take all of this with the chokes and the filter caps that I'm going to reinstall or install in. The transformer is in a can very similar to this, and it sits here. It's filled with tar, and so they sit side by side. Then the 80, there's a socket here that goes for the 80 rectifier tube. So, rewound transformer. Gonna try to get a choke, some chokes out of a Model 44 power supply. If they'll give it up, and we'll see later in the video if I can make that happen. But with some refurbished parts and some borrowed parts, I hope to have this thing going again. Okay, I've got printed out some material on the, this is the second type of the power unit for the Model 44, which has the removable capacitor. And what I'm reading now is that the speaker choke assembly is in with the filter or the condensers. So I may not be able to use this because that means the filter chokes, part of the PI network, are in the transformer. Now I'm hoping that it's modular too. I'm hoping, or that I can get them out without just totally destroying the whole thing. But anyway, here's the schematic of the power supply and the filament resistors. I've marked the wires very carefully. Now these wires are in a lot better shape than the ones that was on my 38, my Atwater Kent 38, because you can actually tell the colors of these. The ones I had, you could not. I mapped it out with my drawing here so that I can put it back together, and possibly if I can't use this, someone else can use this unit, and who knows, I may buy a Model 44 someday. Alright, let me unsolder these wires, and I'll show you what's underneath this right here. Okay, got it unsoldered, and now you see that some of these are center tapped, these filament. And I believe this one right here is the return for the speaker. Here are the this is nice. I see it. It's these are the glass. I believe this one is the 65K, and this is the 12K resistors that goes in the power supply. And so this one is actually an Atwater Kent. Now these are notorious for going bad. I haven't checked these at all, but you can I don't know if you can see it or not. It's got the AK on it. My 38 didn't have that on it. I ended up replacing both of these in the other power supply. So anyway, let me go ahead and unsolder the rest of this. Now I've got the wires. There was, this is the capacitor case, as I think you can see the divider down in there. I had to remove a ground here. Some wires were connecting from this side to this side, so I've marked both ends of them and cut them, so this should be able to come out now. So I'm going to try to lift this out. Okay. That lifted right out. A little bit of cardboard here to divide the two. There's a plate that goes all the way down. I guess this is the other end of the transformer itself. I don't know if this will come out or not, so I may try to pull it out next. Okay. Discovered that these are separate compartments from the transformer. However, they're not made to come out like the capacitor was. These are spot welded. I think you can maybe see the indentions here. These are spot welded. I'm thinking that since the chokes are right here, I can go in here and drill those spot welds out on each side, and this unit should come out. We're going to try it. What else have I got to lose? There's the chokes. Wasn't designed to come out, but after I took the, you can see the corner of it right there. After I took the, drilled the spot welds out, the partition, it came out. Now, to fit it in mine. There's the chokes. Wasn't designed to come out, but after I took the, you can see the corner of it right there. After I took the, drilled the spot welds out, the partition, it came out. Now, to fit it in mine. Okay. After I removed that from the can, I ever so gently took a hammer and gently, mechanically agitated the tar, and it started falling off. I was very careful not to damage the wiring or anything like that. So this is what the chokes in the filter power supply of an Atwater Kent looks like. This is, no one's seen this in close to 90 years. So that's what it looks like. They were working fine when I when I started taking them out. Let's do a little quick check and see. This is the schematic. This is the two chokes in question. The wires, the yellow, the green with the yellow trace is here. The green is the center one, and the red is the one going out there. There's another wire here, and I'm thinking it may be a green yellow trace also. And let's look, and that's this one that I didn't mark, but it was coming from the other transformer. So I believe that may very well be the common one with this green yellow, and that would be the case according to this schematic. So if I take and put the ohm meter on that one and on this one, I should have 0 ohms. Okay, great. Now, let's check this again. Should be approximately 1400 ohms across both of them, which would be the red wire and the yellow-green trace, which I already have it on that one. So if we go to the red one, we should have approximately 1400 volts, or I'm sorry, 1400. And I've got 1374, 73, and that's pretty close. So if we go to the green, it should be a center tap, so we should have approximately half, which is 695. So if we go to the other side, to the red and the green, then we should have approximately 682. So this seems to be working okay, and so I think I'm going to wrap this series up, and probably going to put this in the can, probably use some hot glue to secure it inside there, and then start trying to put some of this stuff back together and see if we can't make this work. Hey, I want to thank all my new subscribers, and I really appreciate everybody that has made the comments and has been supporting my videos. And thank you for watching.